And it won't always be pretty. You know, sometimes you are the problem. Hey YouTube, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So as y'all can see by the title, this video is about the moment that literally everything clicked for me. And when I say clicked for me, what I kind of mean is like everything that I've already kind of known started to really truly make sense. But before we get into that, if you find any value from the video, please consider leaving a like or a comment down below to let me know that you enjoyed it. And if you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and follow me on Instagram right down here below. And we're gonna get right into the video. I'll just preface this by saying that eventually I will get to the point of talking about the difference kind of between getting to know yourself and then actually being aligned with yourself, because for a long time I didn't know that there was like a difference between the two, because I've always just been in the stage of like learning myself and learning how to love myself and just getting to know me, and anything that it really isn't aligned with where I see myself going in the future, I would get rid of that because it's not aligned with who I am now and where I'm trying to go. But little did I know there's this thing called being aligned with yourself, and it's not something that you can really explain until you actually go through it, because there would have been no way for me to tell you about this until I actually experienced it last weekend, which is what I'm going to talk about. Now this whole video won't be about being aligned with yourself versus getting to know yourself and like what the differences are. I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm going to save most of that for my next video, so make sure that you stick around so you can see that. So basically last weekend I went on this trip with my cousins, right? And usually I'm the type of person to say no because I'm very much a homebody, very much don't like to talk to people, very much private. I don't like going outside unless I'm going outside on my own volition and I actually wanted to be there, you know. But I made it one of my goals this year to kind of step out of my comfort zone in several different ways and to put myself out there for the rest of this year and for next year, because I tend to isolate just because of the fact that I don't like being around people and that I just don't be wanting to be seen or be outside. So I just, you know, do me. And I guess I've kind of gotten used to that because I'm so used to being alone. I'm okay with enjoying my own company. I'm okay with going out on solo dates and doing things by myself. I literally do everything by myself. Even the things you wouldn't expect me to do, I'm most likely doing that by myself. But like I touched on briefly in my last video, a lot of the stuff that I do comes from the fear of being seen or just from past trauma and stuff like that. And I'm really having to learn how to just put that aside, and not to say that it doesn't matter or that I should forget it and it hasn't shaped me to be who I am today, but it's not beneficial for who I am today and who I'm trying to be. So holding on to the pain does nothing for me in the long run. So I decided I'm just gonna let it go. I went on this trip with my cousins. I guess we're all around the same age, the oldest one being in like his 30s, and it was his birthday, so that's why he invited us out to celebrate him or whatever. It felt refreshing because I was actually around people my age and we were doing things that people my age do normally. Me, whenever I go out and stuff, I'm the type of person, if I do go out, I go out in the daytime because not much good happens at nighttime. And if I do go out at nighttime, I'm not staying out past 1 or 2 o'clock. That's just me though. Surprisingly, I had a great time with them. Some of the things we did, essentially, we went on this river float. We played some card games like Uno, Dominoes, this game called Can't Say that was super fun, hilarious. We were cooking food, we were playing music, just chilling around. We played around in the stores a little bit, and we went late night bowling. And another thing I loved about being on a trip was that the Airbnb that we had, it had like this back patio type of thing, so I was able to just go outside and sit in the sun like as soon as I woke up in the morning and eat my breakfast out there, or go out there late at night and just chill and listen to music and feel the breeze. And I loved every second of it. I don't think y'all understand. And yes, it seems so simple, but sometimes to other people those are such underrated luxuries. At least to me, like, it's not every day where I can just go and chill outside. I have stuff to do. Even though it might be normal to you, it's not always normal to somebody else. I should just say that. One night, I think it was the Saturday night, we had just came home from bowling, and it was about probably somewhere close to 3 a.m. because we had went bowling around 1 or something like that. We were all getting ready for bed, and once I sat down, I cut the lights off, cut the fan on, which the fan, it felt perfect, and it was dark just enough, but it also had a window in there. So I was just looking out the window or whatever, just looking at the view and stuff. Then I decided I'm not gonna really watch YouTube right now. I'm just gonna listen to some music, just vibe until I fall asleep or whatever. I put my headphones on, and then I immediately just got hit with this overwhelming like feeling, like a shift or like a click of some sort. I'm like, is this what kind of like freedom feels like? Is this what peace feels like? Being able to have your own, being able to move whenever you want to, that independence, just doing whatever you want to do whenever you feel like doing it. It's like, yes, we can experience that, I guess, every day. I mean, if that's your life. But then some of us, we just have an idea of what that would feel like, but we don't really know exactly what it feels like until we actually experience. At least that was happening to me. And honestly, for me, this was one of the first times that I actually chose to go somewhere by myself, and it just really made me realize, like, I need to do this more. And it's ironic because I had the same exact feeling when I went to the bowling alley, and it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god, there's people my age everywhere. I need to go out more often. I need to do more things like this, more things that make me have fun, more things that make me feel alive. And then immediately right after, it was just like, I'm not working hard enough. I need to work harder, because if this is what I say that I want, I need to do the work to actually get me to that point. And it's not like I didn't already know this, but like I said before, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to do the uncomfortable thing, being afraid, every other thing that contributes to me not doing what it is I need to do, I have to let that go. At least put it aside until I get to where I need to go. And this is not to say to neglect your feelings, or that your past or the things that you're going through do not matter, but what matters more? Sitting in the pain, sitting in the sorrow, sitting in the doubt, sitting in the fear, or pushing past all of that, even though you might still feel it while you're doing the hard thing, and getting to where you're supposed to be going. That's the only thing I feel like that has kept me from moving forward, from doing most of the things that I've been wanting to do, especially with this YouTube channel, is the fear and the doubt and not feeling good enough and stuff like that. I can't worry about that right now. And we all start somewhere, so it's like, I'm not gonna always be the best at everything. I have to start somewhere, and somewhere out there's somebody that needs to hear what I'm saying. And there's never a perfect time to get started. You'll never feel ready. It's just about making that choice to decide to put the things that are not serving you down versus picking the ones up that you need to pick up. So I say all this to say that living in that moment really made me realize that this is what I truly want. And even though I've always known that, I'm really feeling that now. And that in order for me to get that, I really have to lock in. And it's not just YouTube, it's not just work or career goals, it's everywhere. At least for me right now, and I'll make a video about this eventually, right now for me, it's about my thoughts. Me entertaining thoughts that are not getting me further to who I'm trying to be in the life that I'm trying to live. It's about entertaining those negative thoughts. It's about being held back down by the fear. It's about not feeling good enough. All of those things are not serving the person that I am today, or the person that I am trying to be. And that's just me being honest with y'all. So really take the time to reflect and see what it is that is holding you back from becoming your potential. And that's another thing I want to speak on really quick, is like, don't be wasted potential. I know that I have a lot of potential, and I've just been sleeping on it, and it just builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And honestly, your lack of acting on that potential starts to come out in other ways. You think you're depressed, but it's really you're not serving your purpose. You're depressed because you're not actually doing something that you really love to do. You're not finding outlets to get rid of all of this energy. Like I said in my last video, whenever I don't create content, I feel like trash because I'm not serving my purpose. And all that energy starts to go to other places. So instead of focusing my positive energy and high energy on the YouTube channel, all of my energy goes to entertaining negative thoughts that keep me from making these YouTube videos. You see how that makes sense? So our thoughts do reflect our reality, and our thoughts influence our actions, and our actions contribute to the life that we live. So really reflect on what it is that you're doing, or what it is that you're thinking that's keeping you from reaching your potential and being the person that you want to be and living that life that you want to live. And the whole reason that the shift felt like a click for me is because in that moment I was living a version of life that I want, and not specifically, you know, what we were doing at the time, but it was just about the feeling that I was engulfed in. It was the feeling that I was having. I was living life. I wasn't just surviving. I wasn't just existing on autopilot and being in survival mode. I was living life. And I like who I am when I'm not in survival mode, when I'm thriving. I like who I am when I'm living my life. And that's what truly motivated me differently than any other motivation could have done, ever. And the motivation is kind of based off of my own personal growth, because it's not just somebody telling me to do something and then I get a burst of motivation to keep going for like a week or so. I feel like it'll be more sustained because it's more fueled by the curiosity and the excitement for what it is that I'm wanting to achieve and the life that I want to live, and knowing what that kind of feels like now, to being able to work towards that. And it'll keep me going for a very long time. And I feel like whatever happened, it really reignited a spark in me, because for a while I was feeling very unmotivated. I couldn't understand what it was, but the whole time it was just me. That's okay for us to admit. Sometimes it's just me, and that's fine. But when you know that it's you also have to be the person to get up and change that for yourself. So yes, I'm very excited and very curious to see how my life is gonna look like. I don't know what it's gonna look like, because yes, I used to have an idea, but you know, life changes and things happen. So whatever it is, of course I'm gonna always try to make sure I'm doing the best thing for me, but I can't control the outcome. But I'm just gonna try to do my best to align myself with what I see myself being. And I say all of this to say, like I touched on in the beginning, there is a difference between getting to know yourself versus being aligned with yourself. And like I said before, I never knew that there was a difference, because getting to know yourself is more like, oh, I like this thing, I don't like this thing, I feel called to do this, or that's not really my thing, or I love to do this on the weekends. The reason I act this way is because X, Y, and Z. So all of those things are basically just getting to know yourself. But being aligned with yourself is seeing things happen to you or for you that really reflects what it is that you desire out of life. And like I said before, it feels way different than any other motivation that you could ever have. And the reason why the motivation feels different is because it's something that you want, you feel like it's worth it to chase after. Instead of chasing after people, instead of trying to keep people that aren't for you around you, instead of trying to stay attached to places and things that are not for you, you could use that energy and that focus and that motivation to being aligned with the life that you actually want, where you can have the people and places and the things that are actually meant for you and that actually feel like it's right and it resonates with who you are inside, with your soul as a person. And the difference is with the motivations on both sides is that yes, you can have motivation when getting to know yourself, because you're going off of, you know, trying to learn and be curious and stuff. But the difference is when you're on this side of being aligned with yourself and really trying to get to that goal, there's a certain amount of clarity that comes with it. Because when you go through things and you see the things that you want reflected back to you through like people's lifestyles or your experiences, people even, it starts to act as a mirror to you. And boy, let me tell you, when the mirror was held up to my face, it's like I already knew that, but it really just made sense. When you see all of these things and the things that you want being reflected back at you, it starts to mirror the things that you have or have not been doing to be truly aligned with that version of yourself or the life that you want. And then it'll also show you exactly what it is that you need to be doing in order to be aligned with that life or with that person that you see yourself trying to be in the future. And it won't always be pretty. You know, sometimes you are the problem. I've always been in my way. And this year and right now is the time where I'm just getting out of the way. Whatever happens is going to happen. Like I said in my last video, and I can't do anything about that, but I know what I can do is do what I need to do in order to become that person I'm trying to be and to live that life that I'm trying to live. Because right now, the reality I'm living in, the person that I was a couple of weeks ago or whatever, is not serving me. It's not getting me any closer to the life that I want to live. And it only takes you being able to look in the mirror to understand that. And once you understand that, you're golden, because you got the cheat code. You know what it is that you need to do. Everybody's steps aren't going to look the same, because everybody's not trying to do the same thing or live the same life. Success, peace, freedom, all of those types of things look different to everybody. And some people, that might not even be their version of life they want to live. Some people want to go for money. Some people want the peace. Some people want the love. Some people want the family. Whatever it is that you want, it's all different. But you have to look in the mirror and know what it is that you need to do to be aligned with that person. And I will break it down, the difference between being aligned with yourself versus just getting to know yourself, in my next video, because that's not what this video was about. This video was just basically about how I knew everything clicked for me. And that's what happened. I don't feel the same as when I went on that trip. I don't feel like the same person. Something just clicked. And it's so interesting because I've always heard people talk about, oh, you know, when you're in your 20s, you know, you go through things and then sometimes things just click. Or some people might say to you, I hope things just click for you one day and you see reality for what it is or whatever. And I kind of understood what that meant in theory, but once I actually lived it, I know what they are talking about. It just does click. And hopefully for you, it can be sooner than it was for me at my age. I'm not old, but but I could have had a lot of things done earlier if I would have done the work a lot earlier. And then for some people, unfortunately, it doesn't click for them until later in life. And that's not a bad thing, I guess, but you know, I would just much rather do it now while I have the time and the energy and the resources, I guess, rather than trying to revert my life at a different time. And it's not to say that it can't be done, because there is people doing it, and if that's you, I still encourage you to do it. But while you're young and while you got it, do it right now. This is the time for us to be failing and making mistakes and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. This is that time. Okay, but I will talk about all of this in my next video. And lastly, how I know that the shift was real was because it has me journaling, y'all. I haven't journaled in like a year or two. I just can't bring myself to do it. I never have. But when I realized why I'm journaling, it really just made me realize it is because of a shift that I'm going through. Because when I first started journaling, I was going through a shift. I was going through something and I evolved, and I was able to look back on it and see how much I've changed. The last time I journaled, it was because I was going through something and I was evolving and I was shifting into being who I am today. And now I'm shifting into being a new version of myself again. And I've always felt inclined to, I guess, record it and document it and write it down so I have something to look back on to really show myself how much I've grown, and the confidence boost that you get from that when you go through hard things and you still come out on top anyway. And for me, it has always been such a great tool to kind of make sense of the things that didn't always make sense. And it gives me a greater understanding and more wisdom and knowledge to carry with me into the future when I experience similar or even, I guess, more advanced things. And I don't think there's anything cooler than evolution, really. So I say all of this to say, like I said in the beginning, I love who I am when I'm living versus surviving or just being on autopilot, okay? And I want more of that feeling. So from now forward, I encourage both you and I to ask ourselves every day, are the choices that we're making moving us closer to being that version of ourselves that truly feels aligned with us? Or is it moving us further away? Only you can answer that question. Nobody else can answer that question for you, because everybody else has their own lives and stuff to do with on their own. So that is basically the end of this video. Hopefully everything I said made some sense and you can understand like the perspective and place that I'm coming from. I hope it makes sense for real, because I don't know, I'm just in the mode of just getting all the thoughts out of my head, because that's what truly feels aligned with me right now. So hope that you liked the video, and if you did, please leave a like or a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I need to know. Y'all be quiet. I need to know. And if you like the content so far, please consider subscribing. We are on a growth journey, okay? It's about time to really get up out of here, okay? I really love each and every one of y'all, all 1,500 of y'all that have been here from the beginning, and for each one of y'all that continue to show up even when I didn't, okay? Even when I didn't, you were still here looking for me, and even when I came back, you were here. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all give me so much to work towards, and I genuinely appreciate y'all support. But with all that being said, I hope that you found some value from the video. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and follow me down below on Instagram, and I will see y'all in my next video.